Episode number 950, The Growth Mindset.
You're listening to the official BNI podcast with BNI founder and Chief Visionary Officer, Dr. Ivan Misner. Stay tuned for networking and referral marketing tips from the man who's been called the father of modern networking, along with suggestions and insights into getting the most from your membership in the world's largest networking organization, BNI.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the official BNI podcast. I'm Priscilla Rice, and I'm coming to you from Live Oak Recording Studio in Berkeley, California, and I'm joined on the phone today by the founder and the Chief Visionary Officer of BNI, Dr. Ivan Misner. Hello, Ivan. How are you, and where are you?
I am doing fantastic, Priscilla. And sometimes I feel like I'm in a young Frankenstein movie where at some point in the movie, the main character says, "It's a miracle." It's because I'm home for like 2 months in a row, and it feels like a miracle. And I'm happy to be at my home office in Austin, Texas, for a couple of months.
Oh, I'm glad for you.
Yeah.
Well, what do you have to share with us today?
Well, I have a guest, and his name is John Rivers. John is celebrating his 20th year as a member of BNI with his company, AOIT Consulting. As a dedicated chapter support director, he's deeply passionate about helping chapters grow and thrive. And when John joined the Portland Business Advantage, the chapter had just 25 members. And since then, he's personally sponsored, okay, sit down, everybody, 51 members.
Wow.
And has helped the chapter expand to more than 70 members at this time. Outside of his IT work, John and his wife, Anna, love traveling, particularly to BNI national and global conferences and conventions and visiting chapters around the world. John, welcome to BNI Podcast.
Thank you for having me.
It's good to have you. Our topic today is the growth mindset. And so I got a couple of questions, and I'm just going to let you run with it because I think your content is really solid. How do you create a culture of inviting people for growth in a chapter?
Yeah, so I've been in BNI for 20 years, like you said, and I've seen chapters that get stuck at the same size, roughly of the same number of members and roughly the same amount of thank you for closed business. But no matter how hard they try, they stay at that same size. But I also found that about 80% of people don't invite visitors.
Yeah. I call those people, they're happy in their hole and they don't want a ladder.
Yes. And so in BNI Podcast 177, the double triple effect, you talk about if you double the chapter size, you triple the number of referrals.
Yeah.
And when I joined Portland Business Advantage, we had about 25 members. We'd go up a couple and down a couple. And we always stayed roughly around $500,000 for a couple of years. And I knew that I couldn't ask anyone else to do something I wasn't going to do myself. So I learned an inviting method from Dr. Ben Reeves, and it's really simple. You spend 15 minutes per day and you put it on your calendar and you hold it sacred and you invite and follow up for 15 minutes per day. And
Wow.
over the last 7 years, we grew from 25 members and now we're over 70 members with over $6 million a year in thank you for closed business.
Okay, so to heck with my triple effect, you have gone way over that. And so I try to be conservative in the numbers that I give. But what I love about comments like yours is that I tend to give the low end, what you've just described as the high end of what can happen when you double or triple your chapter.
Yeah. And now we have many people in the chapter that regularly bring visitors. And that's how I think we've seen a culture change and the growth mindset of the people that are with us now want to continue to see the chapter grow because that the numbers reflect more than just that double, triple effect, like you were saying.
Right. And so before people understand that, they kind of wonder, what's in it for me? You want to talk about that?
Yeah. So whenever somebody says to me, how do I get that same effect in my chapter? I ask them, well, what are you looking for from BNI? Is it to get more money? Is it more connections? Is it more referral partners? And so in order to start growing your business, you just need to dedicate 15 minutes per day in inviting and in following up. And for the leadership teams out there, if you see someone doing this, recognize them. It is one of our core values, and we want whatever gets recognized gets repeated.
Yeah, good point. Love that.
So I went to an aquarium locally that had an 18-inch shark. And I said, that's the smallest shark I've ever seen. And the employee that was working there said, that shark is actually full grown in this aquarium. But if we were to release it into the ocean, it would grow to 6 to 8 feet long. And I feel like so many chapters are stuck because they're in a small aquarium. My chapter was stuck at 50 members for a couple of years. And the room that we were in was beautiful, but it was cramped. We just didn't have enough chairs for members, or we had enough chairs for members, but not enough for visitors. We had people standing against the back wall, maybe a chair in a corner. And we switched to a larger venue. It had more room, more chairs, and we almost instantly grew 10 new members.
Yeah.
So I tell people to be ready for that growth, to have that growth mindset. First, let's be prepared. Let's print name badges ahead of time for our visitors.
Yeah.
Let's introduce the visitors and say, not only are you going to meet me, but let me introduce you to one of my colleagues in the chapter that's going to be a great referral partner for you. Run a great meeting. Have enough room, and not just have enough room for your members, but have enough room that the visitors feel like there's room for them to join and still have room to grow.
Yeah, it's really an issue of intention and attraction, isn't it? I mean, if you have an intention to grow, you need to have a room big enough to grow, and then you have the focus on the attracting the visitors, which is your 15 minutes a day.
Exactly. So on Zoom, we plan ahead of time. We look at the visitor registration list, and we put our visitors into a breakout room with 2 members in their contact sphere. Now, this also requires our members to show up early so that they're there for the breakout rooms. But then at the end of the meeting, the visitors say, man, what's really started this meeting off so great is I got to meet 2 of my ideal referral partners right away when I got here.
Now, wait a minute now, because you're talking about Zoom. Are you doing online meetings or in person or a hybrid?
So my chapter is hybrid, so we get to...
Okay, got it. So it's in person in part and online in part. Yes. By the way, I love the concept of hybrid chapters. I'm a supporter.
Yeah, my chapter actually has a member in Boise, Idaho. Our chapter base is in Portland, Oregon. We have people at the beach. People drive 3 to 6 hours for our meeting, and we have 5 or 6 people that drive over an hour to get to the meeting. So it's hybrid is amazing.
Wow.
So in person, we do the dance, which this is where a visitor comes up to the visitor registration table. They get their name badge that was pre-printed for them. They get to go set their stuff down, maybe get a cup of coffee. The visitor host will then walk them up and introduce them to the president for 60 seconds, then move them down to the vice president, then the secretary treasurer, and then to people in their contact sphere. Okay. So if you have 15 minutes of open networking, that visitor meets 15 people, which after the meeting, they get to go meet those members that they want to follow up with and possibly do business with.
Yeah.
And then the fortune is in the follow-up. We've heard that all over. But I teach my process for how to invite and follow up. And it's easy and repeatable. And you just put it on your calendar for 15 minutes per day. Now, I taught one person that he wasn't getting the same results I was, and I found out he wasn't following up.
Yeah, that's key, and I want to get to that. But let's just review what you just said. Have enough room and chairs for the visitors. Have name tags. Prepare members to meet specific visitors. I love that you introduce them to the leadership team. I think that's great. All right, so engaging with visitors as a follow-up. Talk about that.
Yeah. So here's how I follow up. Before the meeting, I send an email what to expect at our meeting. Yeah. I tell them the time, the location, a few details about the meeting, and I say, I will meet you at the door. And I make sure that I'm there early, even though I'm not on the visitor host team or on the executive leadership team. And in person, I help with the dance. And on Zoom, I help greet the visitors in breakout rooms.
Yeah.
So, but the magic sauce behind this whole process is after the meeting, I pick up the phone and I call visitors.
Oh, here.
And I actually ask them 3 questions, open-ended questions. Number 1, how was the meeting? Number 2, did you get the application? Do you have any questions on that application? And number 3, is there somebody in the meeting that you didn't get the information for, but you would like to follow up with them?
That's a great question.
Remember, even if a visitor can't join the chapter or doesn't join the chapter, it doesn't mean that they can't do business with the people in the chapter. So make sure you're making those connections for your members.
Yeah. And now your chapters are $6 million a year on average.
Yes. So
That's just amazing.
with all those things, I use LinkedIn, Facebook, Alignable, Craigslist, Eventbrite. I use all these different websites to go out and invite visitors. I post
Yeah.
the event on where our meeting is going to be. I direct invite specific people for the chapter. And then I also ask the question, who is the best pet sitter in the area? And then when someone comes up and says, oh, this is my pet sitter,
All
I'll
right.
pick up the phone and call that person and say, Sally Sue said you're the best pet sitter in the area. What are you doing next Wednesday morning? Are you available to come to my B&I meeting?
I love it. Absolutely love it. And what I love about it is, people are sometimes will be thinking, I don't have time to do all that. But wait a minute, your chapter went from $500,000 in Thank You for Closed Business to $6 million in Thank You for Closed Business. So yes, you do have the time to do that if you're going to have a 10x increase on ROI. That is a justification for the time to make connections and relationships. Well, listen, we're talking about time. We're almost out of time. What's the easiest way for a chapter to start building a culture of living?
Yes. So the easiest way is
I didn't say living, I meant inviting.
Yes. The easiest way is to find one other person that's an accountability partner in your chapter. If you're lucky enough, you might even get two, with 2 to 3 dedicated members that are sending out regular invites and inviting visitors and following up. Then the new members will actually join the chapter and join the inviting team, and they'll start inviting new members and following up. And pretty soon you'll have a culture of inviting. Over
Yeah.
the past 7 years, I started out as a solopreneur. I now have 9 full-time employees. And if you listen to the B&I podcast 419, the law of reciprocity, it says the more that you give to the people around you, the more they're going to want to give back to you. And I think that bringing visitors is one of the biggest ways to give to the people around you.
Yeah, absolutely. And it ends up in generating more and more business for everybody in the room. And that's the key. That's what I want. I want everyone to just get a boatload of referrals. And what you've just described is a fantastic way to do that. John, thank you so much for being on the B&I podcast, John Rivers. And John's website is aoitconsulting.com. Thanks for being here, John. I appreciate it.
Thanks so much.
Over to you, Priscilla.
Oh, great. Thank you, Ivan. Well, that was wonderful, John. Thanks so much. I think that's it for this week. This podcast is sponsored by MeisnerAudioPrograms.com. These audio programs will provide you with the tools and the inspiration to powerfully enhance your B&I experience. So check out the great material that's available to you at MeisnerAudioPrograms.com and then use the promo code Ivan50 for 50% off of everything. All of the proceeds go to the B&I Foundation. Thank you so much for listening. This is Priscilla Rice, and we look forward to having you join us again next week for another exciting episode of the official B&I podcast.